questions. We don't have that many, but I think we can kind of quick hitter ones. Um, mm, 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 mm. All most all of these are from our friend Rob Cutmore. He's my friend specifically. I don't know. I think Jade's maybe met him once or twice at the first intermission meetups. Um, Rob's great. Rob asks a few things. We can have silly answers to this, I think. What team bonding event needs to happen over the holiday break to exercise the demons from this franchise? Um, my quick and easy answer, like Little Caesars, they need to go on a team horse riding trip. Silvia might not agree. Uh, they all need to get a horse. Maybe Berkey finds one and they bond over low confidence, and it's like in the movies, they both help themselves regain confidence. Joey's one would go all over the place, just like he does. Yanni Gord's would be small; it would be like a miniature horse, but they would bond. Uh, Jamie Alexiak and Capo Caco, I don't know if they have horses that big because those motherfuckers are big. That's my quick and easy thought. Sylvia, what team bonding event would help cure the vibes?
I have two. Number
Okay.
one, easy answer, trampoline park.
Oh. Hmm.
Trampoline park, really, you go through the five, seven, six, the stages of grief. I don't know how many there are. You go through all of the stages of grief in the trampoline park because the excitement of the idea of a trampoline park, beautiful.
Sure.
Trampolines everywhere. Then you come to the realization that you have to hop everywhere, and if you try to walk, it's like your knee is kind of broken, and then somebody comes up behind you and they bounce you. Terrible. Like
Ah.
I'm just trying to get to the foam pit. Please, I do not want to bounce. And then there's the little rubber things that you trip over. I think the epic highs and lows that come with the trampoline park would really, they got to hold hands. They kind of got to like do a little shift to get places. That's one of them. Second, it is gonna snow. I mean, it's been snowing on I-90, Snoqualmie Pass. I think we have to put a group of Kraken. This one's gonna take a little bit. You take like four in a small SUV, flat tire. It's snowing. There's cars going by you really fast. There's like trailers that will not slow down, and they have to put chains on this car. While they also have to fix the flat tire. It's just a mess. Someone's cold, their phone's dead. I think maybe the challenges of a hockey game are just not enough to bring this team together.
Sure.
And the epic wins and the joys of remembering, oh, wait, my dad taught me how to, change a tire. I can do this. And then realizing you forgot the little lever. So now you have to figure out another way to,
Oh,
yeah. I think, really going through that and processing the emotions of part of that, I think and I think if we get this team to do that, Stanley Cup, guaranteed this season. I'm calling it now.
so like kind of like an escape room, but a very different scenario that puts them in a pressure situation.
Yes.
I got it. Okay, that makes sense. Jade, what do you got?
I was gonna say escape room. Um,
Our minds, we're just so connected.
um, Probably split them into two groups and put them in an escape room, and then swap, like interchange a couple of the players,
Hmm.
make two new groups, and put them in an escape room. Like
Is
do
it
one
this?
round and then do a second round.
Is
Haunted
it
house.
randomized groups?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. I think Joey would run at the door full speed and try to Kool-Aid man that bitch. Yeah. Um, wow, this was great. I'd really like that. I hope Rob got
Um,
his answer. Oh, you got more?
yeah, I have one more. Laser tag.
Okay. Hmm.
I don't know why me and my friends used to go do laser tag when we were in high school because it was cheap and they were open really late. And I always felt very competitive. Uh, yep. Let them compete against each other, honestly. I think that that might bring them together a little bit. So those are my two: escape room, laser tag.
I think the nostalgia of a laser tag would help really bring the whimsy. of this team back. So
Exactly.
we will. What do we got from Rod here? Joe just says, "I wish you all happy and restful holidays. Rest is for the weak. I will not rest," says Charles and his winter Red Bull. No rest. I don't know about those two.
That what
It
that
is
is? I
10:30
thought that was
p.m.
jet fuel.
Might as well be. Um, more from Rob. Positive takeaways during these dark times. I feel like we've kind of touched on it, but I mean, quick hitters. Taco's been fun to watch the last few games. I really do enjoy watching Shane Wright grow more. And then Brandon Montour every night. I feel like he's doing something. Quick hitters, guys.
Mine is, and I'm just gonna reinforce this. I think from every episode on, we have a hockey team. This was a grassroots push from a lot of fans to get this team here in the first place and have that want to get this team here. As somebody who grew up, like I discovered hockey on full accident. I didn't even know the English when I learned about hockey. And I had to like go to the public library and like communicate with this librarians about how I want to see Sidney Crosby highlights. It is 2007. YouTube is not very good, right? I want to learn about Evgeny Malkin. It is like our computer sucked. And I think this ability to have like I can just drive up 2 hours and I can go, see these amazing players and like, and I think kind of holding on to that, making space for the fact that we have, a Seattle Kraken team is one that I think it's a good way to kind of like keep the hope for this team. Another one, Joey Decord is active on Twitter, and the funnier
Mm.
you are, the more he will reply. So keep that in mind. Keep that shining light in your heart. That Joey Decord is as big and like chronically online as the rest of us.
That's both horrifying and a good point. Um, I have a not public account for a reason so that I can just shit post and it doesn't matter. It doesn't go anywhere. Um, my positive takeaway is uh perhaps the Kraken are the friends that we made along the way, and that a lot of us wouldn't know each other if it wasn't for having a Kraken team. So that's it's silly, but that is definitely positive.
Yeah,
And we're not
no,
safe.
that works. I'm gonna
And not really team
sandwich.
related, so
Oh, sure. I'm gonna sandwich two silly ones. We had that one. We'll have a semi-serious one, and then we'll end with a silly one. Um, thoughts, this has been interesting because I think it's working well. Taco, seems like they've stuck him with Matty Beniers. Um, what do we think about that? Um, and then this is a whole other can of worms. I think we'll stick with the Kako. I'm sorry, Rob, you can get mad at me. Because it's another one. It's like the Chain Tolvi Yorkie line has shown some good things, but they had Shane, Yanni, and Canner tonight, and they were able to do some things as well. I think we'll stick with the Kako. We can look at it next week because next week we just got the one game. Um, I don't know. I think they keep Kako with Maddie. I mean, I feel like that's a good example as well. Maddie hasn't been a guy who's gone to the net, right? Even despite his offensive struggles. Capo Kako is a guy who can do that, whether it's because of his frame or because he knows he can and should do it. Um, I don't know. There are some like bonded pairs with these forwards that I tend to see. Like Polvinen and Bjorkstrand have stayed together. I've seen a lot of McCann and Beniers. There are guys who kind of stick together on lines, right? Um, I would leave Taco and Beniers personally. Thoughts?
I think
I
Jake called it in the Slack when the couple first like
I think I said I wanted McCann,
can. Yeah.
Wright, Kako. I'm not opposed to Beniers though. It
Mm,
obviously worked tonight, so
yeah.
but I think yeah, not many
Uh,
thoughts. I think he's also still so new that it's gonna take it's gonna take some practices
yeah.
to really be able to see where he's going to be and then, you know, employing what they do in practice into a game and going from there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I unfortunately have not been able to fully watch both of the last games, which were both of the games Cago was on. I did follow the coverage through at Circling Sports on Twitter and Blue Sky, and wherever you get your podcasts. Um, I don't know. I think we're at a we cannot be making a lot of line changes is one of the things where I'm at, where like I think it just causes too much disruption. I think if this is working, leave him on there, you know? And also on Circling Sports where I saw this this amazing coverage, they also do sell merch and it is giftable. You probably will not get it by Christmas anymore. But birthdays, Mother's Days, Valentine's Days do come up.
New Year's
And
present.
New Year's present, we do New Year's presents at my house. And Capo, it will be here for Mother's Day, New Year's on this team. Um, so I think, really seeing him with Maddie, seeing him with the player that we want to have as this like legacy player, um, and getting this like brand new guy again was not very cared for on his last team. He's less of a stray, more like a dog that a little chihuahua that you pick up from the pound because you wanted a dog, but you don't want a really big dog, and this one's gonna work out. This is like our what I think they give you a 3 week period with the pets before you get to return them. This is our 3 week period. Buy him a nice little bed and really just test it out. Is he going to work? And I think that's what we get with Maddie on that line is we have our big players, our big franchise players. If he works there, he's going to work anywhere, I think.
I agree with that. And I'm not, I don't want the lines to get scrambled too much because I think that that's when, like I said earlier, it all comes back to the Flyers. Sometimes Tortorella will just, I swear to God, put the lines in a blender and then throw sticky notes at the wall and see what happens. That's how it feels. So I really enjoy that the Kraken tend to not do that because I usually know what to expect. So I think that there's going to be I think that there needs to be a little bit of line shifting when they come back from the break after they have time to hopefully squeeze a practice in or two. Um, so I'm expecting to see some line changes after that, but I also, from what I can see with Dan, he seems to find lines that he likes pretty quickly and then stick with them for the most part. He'll switch up one or two things here and there, but it seems like he finds a line that he likes, sticks with it, and moves on. So I'm hoping that we see that pretty quickly with him officially in the lineup.
Yeah, that's pretty, and it's interesting. I think that was a conversation either early into the season or in training camp where um Dan talked about like the great lines, and there's usually a pair. The third guy doesn't really matter all the time. Um,
He's talked about
and
that
then
at least three times.
yeah, yeah. So you know what I'm talking about.
Hmm.
And so I think he does kind of go with the pairs. Well, I'm sure we'll see Beniers Kako. We've seen Beniers McCann since Jordan Pelvic exploded. They've kept those two together, but obviously Ebbs is on the table after his wife gave birth, though. Um, yeah, and to Jade's point, with you get Paco a practice. He hasn't practiced. They were supposed to have one between Chicago and Vegas. That got canceled because of
Travel.
some travel stuff. They're scheduled to have a practice at Rogers Arena on Friday. So that will
God
be
willing.
it. That will be it. And then they're supposed to have a practice the day after at KCI on Sunday. So yeah, there you go. He'll get at least two practices before his first game in CPA. So
Yippee.
then we will close it out with a silly one. This is from Christy at the left turn. Any recommendations to the fan base in order to bring the good vibes and the wins back? Prayers, sage, or giving up luxuries? Um, that's a great question. I would say a prayer to Bowie. Um, at least two. At least two. We wanna really ensure that they bring the vibes back. And maybe light like two candles, but the color of the candle itself should be in the Kraken color palette. Whether it's, red, different shades of blue. Yeah, that's what I would do. Other thoughts?
Um, say a prayer to Bowie. Cross your fingers that the funky 1 p.m. start time against the Canucks will reverse the funky
Oh.
1 p.m. start time of the home opener, and that after that the season will turn around. That's what I'm banking on. And this is silly, but I have a specific handful of songs that I listen to before every game.
Hmm.
So find a good pregame playlist. That's all I got. All of my songs have to do with the Kraken, by the way,
Hmm.
adding that in.
So here's what you do. You go, I don't know Seattle very well, okay? So bear with me here. You go to Pike Place.
Hmm.
Go down the stairs into the disgusting gum wall.
Hmm.
You get hockey cards of every player you want to score a goal.
Mm.
Put them on the wall. Go blip, blip, blip for each player you want to score a goal. You then have to chew the amount of like gum, like for if you want Joy to, yeah, if you want Joy Decor to score one goal, chew one gum, put it right under his card. And I think if enough people do this, the power of friendship, as Jade said, but I also think the grossness of the situation will force the city of Seattle to shut down the wall. And then they will have to like bribe the team to start doing good.
Mm. Okay.
Yes. So then the team starts doing good. We come back, we win the Stanley Cup this year.
Hey, I might do that
I was gonna
before the
say,
game on Monday against
perhaps I'll
Utah.
take a field trip.
Yeah, I might. It's a 5 o'clock. Monday's a 5 o'clock game that leads us to up next, against Utah. So I don't think they'll have a skate. So I just might, go up to CP early around lunchtime, go down to the market. Hmm. I'll post
Tasty
about it if I
thoughts.
do. So yeah, the upcoming schedule looks like this as we're end up next here. I know that while the Kraken themselves might not have whimsy, at least Jade, Silvia do. I don't know if I do. I will let other people think about that. The holiday break for the Kraken lasts from the 23rd to the 26th. As I mentioned, they have a practice scheduled for the 27th. I really hope they're not just canceling practices right now. Their next game is on Saturday, December 28th against the Vancouver Canucks. I believe this is the first time they meet the Canucks this regular season. Um, they will have That's a 1 o'clock start. That's on Kraken Hockey Network, King 5 and Tong in the local area. They have a practice at 11 a.m. on Sunday, December 29th. I can make sure if that's open to the public or not, because as we talked about with accessibility, these practice, it's not the biggest thing in the world, but it still counts. No, it's not open to the public. Okay, well, poop,
Ooh.
poop. You can still probably stand outside and look at me awkwardly through the glass, and I will kind of try to like Sylvia said she had problem with horses with their like how they have their eyes on the side. Like
Yes.
if you've seen those memes on Twitter where it's the horse's eye like from this angle, I'll just look at you like that awkwardly through the glass. Yeah, then on Monday, the 30th of December, they will play the Utah Hockey Club with a 5 p.m. Pacific time start. So we will
What an odd
probably
start time.
record our show for next week before Utah. I don't imagine Kyler Yamamoto will be called up to exact revenge on Ron Francis. Um,
Spokane,
Boo.
a lot
Spokane,
can happen.
Kyler Yamamoto.
A lot can happen before that game. He could get called up from Tucson. So yeah, this is gonna be a long one, but I think we had some good discussions, and this will lead us into the holiday break. We'll probably have a lighter episode next week anyway, just because they just have the one game. Um, so yeah, that will take us into the holiday break. I hope you're enjoying this. I hope we don't get sued by the Kardashians. And until we see you next time, take care of yourselves, be well, and do whatever you can to make today a whimsical day.
Hey, Charles.
Hey, Jen.
Hey. Where are you going to watch all those Kraken away games?
Kraken away games, making a push. I was thinking of coming here just because Rough and Tumble is the home of Circling Seattle Sports, only if that's okay with you.
I mean, I love that idea. Hope to see you here.
Hello there, everybody. Charles Hamaker here with Circling Seattle Sports. I'm joined by Jen Barnes of Rough and Tumble that we happen to be at right now.
Yeah.
Jen, why don't you talk to me a little bit about what we're announcing today, which is our partnership.
I'm so excited about this. First of all, I just want to say thank you. I think all of us here at Rough and Tumble are big fans of what you and your team at Circling Seattle Sports does. And so, I know you know this, but when you came to me with this idea, it just seemed pretty natural. And it's not just me. I think a lot of people in the sports community in Seattle also really respect you and your team. So it's exciting to kind of see these two things melding together, and we're really excited to start implementing some of the things and then hopefully seeing you guys a little bit more often.
Yeah, and so with what Jen says about seeing us more often, we've got a few things in the works, but you'll see watch parties here. We'd like to do a few different of our community drives, which you'll hear about here in a little bit from now. We've got to make our announcements one at a time. I can't drop everything.
Not everything
right?
all at once.
But this has been a home for a lot of our team, whether it's myself, our friend, our photographer Liz is behind the camera. Liz is here often, so our team has kind of adopted this place kind of like our own since I saw you at our soft launch. So, it's been great to have that support. In a lot of ways, and part of the reason I wanted to do this was the Rough and Tumble embodies a lot of what Circling Seattle Sports wants to do. Obviously with women's sports, with the storm and the rain, but just being, having the game on, every game on.
Yep.
How much of that, did you see a line kind of even before this idea was mentioned when I first met you?
I think it's always felt like that. I mean, you and your team were here on opening night, and you just feel like you're part of the space, so it felt like really natural. And the fact that you actually cover all of the sports really makes your group stand out. So you are always covering all the rain games, all the storm games. You'd have women's softball, you'd have women's basketball, you'd have women's hockey. We love it. So all of those things, and obviously passionate M's fans, passionate Hawks fans, and passionate Kraken and Sounders fans. So really, from our perspective, those two things meshed really well.
So, you heard it from Jen herself, but this will be our home for all of these events, whether it's you can't make it to these games at home, we're always going to direct you to Rough and Tumble, and obviously the games on the road as well. All these, we're talking about the rain, they've got their schedule out finally, but this will be our home for that.
Great.
The storm games on the road, this is our home.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes.
I love it.
And when I mentioned it to Jen when I first had this idea come up, I had this idea come up wearing a pink wig.
Yes, you did.
Ahead of Megan Rapinoe's final regular season home game for the Reign this past year.
Yeah.
I told her it's because I wanted this to feel genuine.
Yep.
I wanted a connection to feel genuine, and it does.
Yeah.
So that's what this is. Rough and Tumble is the home of Circling Seattle Sports, and I'm so excited to finally announce this partnership.
I can't wait.